The old saying goes, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always have what you've always had. Well, what's up guys, this is Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and as you can see, I'm starting the day off out here in the high tunnel. It's about, this morning it was pretty chilly. It was in the low 30s, but it's warmed up to the 50s, and it's getting warm in my greenhouse. As you can see, we don't have near as much of a winter garden as we typically do, and really honestly it's because most years a lot of what I grow, the leafy greens, ends up going to the goats and stuff. We typically grow a ton of greens. My wife and I are big juicers. Kind of fallen off the wagon. We haven't been juicing much lately, but our greens are getting to where we can start harvesting from them. Let me show you all these real quick, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the video. So I did have, all this stuff was grown from seed. I started them all earlier in the fall. So I didn't grow a ton of stuff. Now this is all a strawberry bed, so just ignore that because it's kind of irrelevant right now. But one raised bed full of greens and several self-wicking tubs. So we got a few kale plants. I've learned a little bit of kale goes a long ways. And then a large bed full of beets, because beet greens are amazing. Beet greens are so healthy for you, so nutritious. And as the beet matures, they go really, really well in a juice. It's really good for your blood. And a few cabbage. I spaced them out, but they're starting to trying to start to head up just a little bit. Nothing spectacular, but we've got a long ways to go for wintertime. Then on my self-wicking tubs, now for those of you that are new to this stuff or newer to the channel, I've probably got 100 plus garden videos and 50, 60, 70 high tunnel videos. I've got how-to tutorials on the YouTube channel on how to make all these self-wicking tubs. They hold water. This was not my idea. This was Gardening with Leon on YouTube. A good friend of mine. These things will hold a basin of water at the bottom and then water the plants self-wicking. Anyways, so I planted, let's see, there's 4 tubs of spinach, and it's doing really well. Look at this spinach leaf. Those we've haven't really harvested any yet, but we obviously could. It's ready to go. Actually, I'm not sure what variety this was, but it's almost a little bit too warm in here for that variety right now. As you can tell, it's trying to bolt a little bit. That tub didn't do very well for some reason. Not sure why. And I've got a couple tubs of carrots. This one needs to be thinned out. Carrots, man, when Houston was a little guy, when he was like 3 or 4 years old, we had to grow so many carrots because he'd come here every day and pull carrots. And a little bit of lettuce. I don't grow a ton of lettuce in the fall. It does taste good. It just doesn't last very long. So if I plant a whole bunch at one time, most of it goes to waste. And Swiss chard, that was left over from the spring. So as you can see, we do have some winter greens going in here. They are growing pretty well. I just haven't done a lot of gardening this fall. And I like fall gardening because I can plant stuff and pretty much ignore it. I mean, you may have to weed it a little bit. These same crops, if you plant them in the spring, the weeds are just going to take over if you don't pay much attention to it. I haven't weeded these until today since I planted those beets and kale and stuff, so that's not too bad. So as I said earlier, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this. So this is not a gardening video. My channel and so many others out there, I'm sure, it's it's an evolution, it's an evolving process. And one of the comments I get quite frequently in messages and emails and comments and stuff, and I'm not dogging anyone, I'm not putting anybody down here, it's not even a hateful comment, but it kind of goes something like, I wish you would go back to what you used to do. I wish you'd go back to what your channel used to be. Or don't forget your roots. Don't forget what got you here. And those kind of comments. And I just kind of want to address that today and talk about it, because I feel like that's a terrible thing. Now, I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea that our channel was not just going to like completely change. I'm not trying to change things up. But I want you guys to understand, yeah, in the beginning, well, if you go all the way back to the beginning and look at our very first videos.
Woohoo!
What do you think, Emily?
Dear heart.
Nice, man.
Shot him right there. But you can see all the blood.
He drilled him.
Did he go very far?
Look, hey, you see all that hair that's missing?
Well, we shot him over there where we're hunting in that corner, and he died right up there on this hill.
Look, there's a lot of hair missing because when I shot, his hair just went.
It was all hunting stuff, and then it evolved into gardening stuff. What are you doing there? What does that do?
Get the weeds out.
Get the weeds out.
Ow.
And that was because gardening was what I did as a hobby. I sold vegetables, I grew vegetables, and I watched a bunch of gardening channels. M.I. Gardener, the Bayou Gardener, the Web Cajun, he's passed on now. But a lot of gardening channels, that's kind of what I cut my teeth on YouTube, because I come out here and they were how-to tutorials. And then we built the greenhouse, which was a huge dream of mine for a long time. And we've grown, I think, 5 years in here now. And I've got hundreds of gardening videos. But I can't just keep repeating the same thing over and over and over. I think that would be insanity. And when it comes to creating content for YouTube videos or Facebook videos, whatever it is, over time, I feel like a channel has to grow and evolve and change. And obviously, it's just going to do that as your interests changed. When Houston was 3, 4, 5 years old, that little boy wanted to be right here, putting his hands in the soil, digging in the dirt, planting seeds. His mind was going so fast and growing and learning so fast. And that the garden was a way I used to teach him so many things about life, and planting a seed and taking care of the soil and fertilizer and water and nutrients and getting rid of the weeds. It's funny, a lot of that applies to your life too. You know, it's the same way. It's like your faith, like our Christian faith. It's like God has to plant a seed in our life, but I feel like we have to cultivate it, and we walk alongside of God to cultivate that walk with the Lord. And you know, without proper feeding and nutrients, your faith will just fall away. But that was so many important lessons I taught him out here, and that's where we spent our time together. And you know, over time those things evolve and change, and he's not as interested in gardening anymore. Plus, I don't have the time to grow a market garden. And I learned over time, I personally started the garden, selling vegetables and stuff as a side hustle to make extra money for my family, because my wife didn't work. She was a stay-at-home mom. It was just me on a trooper salary. So that was something I could do in my free time that I enjoyed, and I was able to sell those vegetables. Well, over time I learned I could make another side hustle about the garden, making videos about this stuff. And those videos produced more income for my family than actually selling the vegetables. And over time that grew and evolved. And it's just kind of become a family vlog. I know a lot of people get hung up on the Arms Family Homestead word. And they're like, you just got all this different stuff. You're doing all kinds of things. And we don't care about basketball. Or we don't care about fishing or whatever it is. It's no big deal. I can't interest. Every video is not going to interest every person. And I don't want it to. But it has to evolve and change and grow over time. I talk to a lot of other creators, a lot of other channels that have been coming up through the ranks, I guess you call it, alongside me, and their channels have been growing for years. And we're at a point, my family's at a point, and so many of these other creators are at a point where you've got to continue to evolve and grow, because if you just do the same thing over and over and over, it's not going to grow and go. And it's kind of like the channel, I know a lot of people probably disagree with this, but Flair, Fishing with Flair. Flair's got, I don't know, a couple million subscribers. He may be 3 million subscribers on YouTube now. He built a channel over the last 10 years on fishing. He's one of the Guggen Squad guys, sells Guggen baits. Go look at Flair's channel right now and see how many fishing videos you see, because he moved on. He still fishes, he still loves to fish. That's where his background, his history is, but he realized he had a love of the outdoors that encompassed more than just fishing. So farming and animals and livestock, maybe not gardening, he's not into gardening, but property management, property maintenance, and buying hunting properties and managing them and taking buddies hunting and stuff. And it's just been super successful. And I think that's a great example for what happens with or what needs to happen with a lot of YouTube channels. So a lot of the guys I talk to are in the same boat we are. They're like, listen, we've built this huge channel, this huge audience. We love what we do, but people don't understand what happens as a creator progresses and life progresses, and what's the next step? What's the next step even look like? You know, you get those comments from people like, hey, you need to be careful, you don't know how long this is going to last. Well, that's true, you don't know how long it's going to last. So what's the best step you can take for your family to advance your future? Because just let's be honest, whether YouTube's here for another 5 years or another 50 years, most people aren't going to keep creating content for 30 years. So it's kind of feast or famine. Go get what you can while you can. And I'm not saying people are money grabbing and money hungry, but you have to evolve and grow. What's the next step look like? Like, you know, if somebody goes out and they buy say they buy a brand new tractor. Well, a lot of people in the comments get mad. They're like, you shouldn't do that. That's waste. You're blowing your money. You need to be careful. YouTube may fall apart tomorrow. But what people don't understand is where was that channel at 3 years ago when you started watching them versus now? It's a business, and so many people have to run their content, their channels like a business. The unfortunate thing, I guess, on the backside of it is their followers don't really know what they make, and they don't need to know all of the details of their income and stuff. But just know this, most creators out there, if they've been at it serious and they've got several hundred videos and they've been at it for years, you got to think about it. Where they were 2 or 3 years ago is a totally different world than where they are now. So maybe I'm all over the place on this, but I just try to teach and show you guys what's going on. Not with just our channel. So many others are the same, and I talk to a lot of other creators, and they have the same struggles and the same issues. It's just really hard. I talk to folks that you know, they're in the exact same boat we are in a lot of ways, but everyone's channel is different. Everyone's life's different. Everyone's business is different. If you work for yourself and you run a business, over time, that business is going to grow. Hopefully, that's what you want, right? And it's no different with a YouTube channel. And, you know, I talk to guys, they're like, I've built this channel, and it was a small thing on a small farm or a small homestead, and it's grown and evolved. And in order to keep it successful, I've got to take it to the next level, whether that means buying a whole new farm. Look at, let's say Al Lumna, for instance. Al went out and bought a huge farm, and he's building another house, another property, even though his first house and his first property was the roots of his channel. He's had to move on. And Jason from Cog Hill Farms, another prime example. They had a channel that was successful on their farm, and they ended up selling their farm, moving to another property, and I feel like it's been a huge uplift, like a refreshing start to their channel. Dutch, keeping it Dutch, bought a new place, building a new homestead, and I think a lot of people in the comments get stuck, viewers get stuck on, oh my gosh, you're gonna go broke, you're gonna go bankrupt, how can you do this, you can't, this is terrible. And you just need to trust these people, trust these creators. They know, promise you, all these guys, especially in our little homestead community, they know what they're doing. They know the risks they're taking. And I promise you, we all talk, we all have conversations about, I don't say all, most of us talk and have conversations, and we all have the same struggles. And it's usually a good move. So, you know, Mike from Outdoors with the Morgans, I know that guy's got to catch a lot of flack because look at his whole list of equipment. He's like a machine. That guy produces so much content. I'm good friends with Mike. I love watching his channel. And that guy has been incredibly successful with Kubota. And, you know, he's got a couple tractors, an excavator, a skid steer. He's going out and buying a skid steer now. And he's got all this stuff. And it doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people. Why does somebody on a small acreage need 2 tractors, a skid steer, an excavator? But those are tools for his business. Just like if he had a construction company, he doesn't have to go out and do construction work for other people. He does projects on his own farm with that equipment and makes a living at it that way. And that is just crazy. It's incredible. I love YouTube and Facebook and social media for that ability to go out and build a business just like somebody would have done 20, 30 years ago and never have to leave your farm, never have to leave your property. But over time, it's going to evolve and change. I mean, how many projects can Mike do on his property before he's got to go, I'm about out of projects here. You know, I'm not saying anything about Mike. I have no idea what Mike's future plans are. But, you know, there's so many of these homestead channels and farm channels and things. And you've got to constantly come up with new content, create new things, keep it interesting. If I go out here every day and I film the same animals doing the same stuff, my channel's going to go stagnant. It's not going to grow. And that's why we constantly have to be doing new projects and new things. And I'm not complaining about that. I love doing that. And so do these other creators. It's just part of the process. You have to evolve and grow and change. If you just keep spinning your wheels in the same spot doing the same thing, the old saying goes, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always have what you've always had. Well, most people want to grow in life. They want to grow in their finances. They want to grow in their spirituality. They want to grow in their walk with the Lord. They want to grow with their family. And that's just how they're doing it.
My wristwatch is broken, my shoes are untied. Time is a-ticking, and so is the tide. But I am not worried, things are what they are. Come rain or come shine or a shooting star. I've been to the south, I've been to the north, east and the west, the middle of course. I may have been astray, but I never been lost, never been beat by the road I've crossed. I guess I've been lucky to some degree.
So with all of that being said, got the work in the greenhouse completed. The next thing on the list for today is to get in the garage and fill all of our orders for our Arms Family Homestead merch, Creek Life merch, all that stuff. Typically, that's DJ's department, and I don't give her enough credit for that. My wife works so hard on our merch stuff. I'm not gonna say she's given up her photography career, but she has tremendously put that on hold. And while this is going crazy, I mean, it's just hard to keep up. We don't want to outsource it. We don't want to take that anywhere else. We want it to just be us. It's our thing, and it's one avenue we use to support our family and grow our farm, grow our channel, and be able to financially afford to do a lot of the projects for the channel. And it's been very successful. But I promise you, it wouldn't be anywhere near it is without my wife's help. So I'm gonna go in the garage and start packaging orders. Probably mess it all up. She gets on to me because I don't do it her way, but her way is probably better and more efficient and makes less mistakes. But she's been watching her niece Brooks, Dusty and Marissa's little girl from Cross Timbers Bison. Dusty's got some big things coming for you guys. As you know, he's one of those people I talked about. He just bought a whole new ranch for his bison that was made possible by so many of his viewers watching his videos, and he's able to grow a bison herd and grow and be able to afford to purchase a whole ranch for his bison herd just because of YouTube. If Dusty hadn't started a YouTube channel and just had bison, it would take him 50 times longer to be able to afford to do the things he's doing now. So that's what makes it possible, and it's good for his family. It's good for the bison community. It's good for people that are buying. He's selling fresh meat, hamburger meat, steaks. He's selling jerky, all kinds of stuff. He's turned a video platform into a business.
I've been beat by the road I've crossed. I guess I've been lucky to some degree. For someone who ate all the fruit from the tree. The stars been aligned and my goose hanging high. I'll be okay in the sweet by and by. I was born at morning on the first day of June, 1900 and something and two. My mom was a sweetheart, my father was too. They left me a watch and an old pair of shoes. I guess I've been lucky to some degree. For someone who ate all the fruit from the tree. Stars been aligned and my goose hanging high. I'll be okay in the sweet by and by. I'll be okay in the sweet by and by.
So, got all of the orders caught up and made current. And I guess I'll just end this video by saying, I would encourage you as a viewer of not just my channel, so many of you watch so many of these other channels, to just stop and think. Don't jump on a creator in the comment section. Don't be too quick to judge someone for what they're doing to better their life, to better their family. I'm not concerned about haters hating in the comment section and stuff. I just kind of wanted to address that whole world of comments that I think everyone gets in. Don't forget where you came from. Why don't you make videos like the way you used to? How come you don't do the things you used to do? Maybe it's because, not just me, but so many of these creators see what's working. You know, you watch your analytics, you watch your videos, you watch the numbers, you see what produces. Like for me specifically, if I would have gone to the greenhouse today, made just a specific gardening video, and gave it a title and a thumbnail about gardening, I would expect on YouTube that video is going to get 30, well, probably more like 50,000 views, 50 to 60,000 views. Facebook, probably about the equivalent. And now I could come out here, do some gardening, show you guys some stuff, make a title or a thumbnail about something significant or crazy going on at the time, and give it a different title, different thumbnail. That video is going to get 100,000 views. So maybe some people call it clickbait. Whatever. I don't even worry about that. But just remember, those content creators are doing the best they can to give you the best content they can, really for free. You look at YouTube and Facebook. Take out all the other stuff. YouTube and Facebook videos are free to watch. We produce so much content for free, and then we do the best we can. We see what works. If we got two options, if you had two options, say you had a pickup truck to sell, someone offered you 30,000 and someone offered you 60,000, which one are you going to take? What are you going to do? So anyways, that's going to wrap it up, guys. That's all I've got for today. I'm going to get these packages to the post office, go pick up the kids. Me and Houston have a dentist appointment. Oh, that's no fun. So yeah, guys, that's all I've got for today. Totally random video, totally off the wall. I'm sure a lot of you are probably lost and confused and like, what is this guy just rambling about? Yeah, I share my life with you guys. through this little camera lens. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Y'all have a great day. And as always, we'll see you on the next video.